Welcome back to Blue Collar Speed and Repair. We're back with the Camaro today, the 92 Camaro, kind of Frankenstein with an 84. Today, we're going to try and get the brakes done. We're going to try and mount the cooling, get the cooling going, basically button up everything that we didn't button up last time to get this into a driving vehicle. So off camera, we went ahead and replaced the old rusted out gas tank in this 92, which is actually right here. Oh, it's got a pretty hardcore little rust line going through here. So we went ahead and ripped that one out, and we've got a new fuel pump coming with a regulator to regulate it down to carbureted PSI. And yeah, so we're gonna get started with the brakes. We already pulled the wheels off of the old red Camaro, and we pulled the wheels off of this Camaro. So we're just going to go ahead and swap them over. Everything's new on the red Camaro, so.
Yeah, we have to get a couple things bolted back in place on this one as well.
Yeah, we took the panhard bar out to get access to the fuel tank. The back half of the exhaust is just hanging out with a ratchet strap, so that's got to get mounted back up.
Yeah, nobody's replaced a gas tank on a third-gen Camaro. It is not a fun time.
Yeah. Most people end up cutting access holes on the top, and they did do this, but which would have been really nice if the gas tank in it was already new, but it wasn't, so we ended up having to rip it out anyways.
Sure, if it would have held gas.
Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna get started on brakes and see how much we can get done today. So we are here on the front passenger side brakes. And so what we're going to have to do here is we already went ahead and moved the hard brake line from the red Camaro and swapped it over to here because of the way the hard brake line is snaked along the K-member. So this is the new red Camaro hard brake line, well, the new old one. But we are going to head and go and swap this the soft line. We're going to wire wheel these rotors off because we never actually replaced the rotors on the original Camaro either. We're going to replace the calipers, we're going to replace the pads, and then we're going to go ahead and see what the rear drums look like. And the rear drums stop okay as is, just from pushing it around. They seem to be all right, but we're probably, just at least to be safe, at least going to replace the cylinder in them. So.
Since you did all of the brake stuff on the other car except the rotors and the drums, right?
Right. So this bracket right here holds on this this clip that holds the hard line to the soft line. It's just threaded in here, and this clip just holds this soft line to the bracket itself. And there's a clip right here as well that holds this soft line in place. We already went ahead and knocked that out, went ahead and took this bolt out that holds this bracket in place, so this is just kind of sitting here. So we're going to go ahead and get these soft lines unthreaded, get these soft lines out, get these calipers out, get the brake pads out, wire wheel these rotors off, and put it all back together with newer parts. So we got this brake line unclipped here. I'm going to go ahead and unthread this soft line here. So, soft line is out. Look at that. We got some nice 30-year-old brake fluid coming out to say hi. Oh. That guy. There we go. That's how you take a soft line out of a 1992 Camaro Rally Sport and drip brake fluid everywhere. There's a drain pan. Now that the soft line is out, we can go ahead and take these calipers and these brake pads off Now, these calipers have actually been giving me a little bit of a hard time because I believe what happened is the calipers are rusted to the brake pads and the brake pads are rusted to the rotors. So we can't move this car worth a damn. We've been having to push it around with our other vehicles. So I'm real excited for this. Sure is. So, Allen bolt number 1. Allen bolt number 2 right up here. No, Allen size. It's 3/8. Yeah, we're planning on it. It's holding this guy together now. Don't remember. Yeah, it's probably true. Is there anything else holding this guy on? Need a bigger hammer. What's holding you on still? Come on, almost off. There we go. No, just need that. Almost. What is holding you on? Oh. There we go. That's how you take a rusty old caliper off. Need a couple hand tools and a hammer. So I'm not going to buy new rotors because I don't want to. So we're going to wire wheel the rust off of these rotors. And it'll be great. Not polish it, obviously. Just little spick and span, little spick and shine. Wire brush. I stand corrected. Wire brush. Let me hold the camera. Bigger one probably wouldn't hurt. So they are nice and pitted, but you know, it's an old car. Old cars have character.
He doesn't care, he just wants it running.
Old cars have character.
Right.
I ran with the same 40-year-old rotors on that red Camaro for almost a year, and the brakes were never an issue. So the brake pads were an issue, but the brake rotors were never an issue. Yeah. So we're not going to worry about this. I say that's good on this side. We're going to go ahead and do the tear down on the next side, and then we're going to put everything back together. In the front, at least.
I had already tore all the stuff off the other one. So.
She already tore the stuff off all the other one. So
Off the new old Camaro. That one, the donor car.
Stands corrected. We're going to put everything back together on this side, then we're going to do the other side in the same order. Probably not record that one because I just did a nice little step-by-step for you guys here. and we'll fly through that one a little quicker. And then we'll get started on the drums, which is my favorite part. So we just finished up the front side, the front half. So got everything swapped over to the front half, got it all wired off, got it all wire wheeled off. We got it all plumbed up. We got all brake padded up. Got it all calipered up. Now we're gonna get the back half drummed up, cylindered up, perhaps springed up, depending on what we see in here. And so now I'm gonna start ripping and tearing, seeing what it looks like. Honestly, if I'm lucky, I'll only have to do the cylinders because that's all I feel like doing, but I might end up doing more. So we'll see. So I don't know how well you can see that, but we just popped off the driver's side drum in the rear, and the springs, though they are filthy, look like they have been replaced. So I think I'm just going to leave the springs, but these shoes have a pretty serious groove in them. The drum has a pretty serious groove in it right there. So we're probably going to go ahead and swap drums because the drum on that car over there is already spray painted black with some high heat paint. So not that it really matters, but you know. So I think we're going to go ahead and tear apart these drum brakes and start swapping over. Okay, so the drum brakes proved to be a bigger foe than imagined. They proved to be a bigger enemy than I thought I could take on. Well, I can take it on, but it was a pain in the ass. Did the drum brakes on the other car, but this time I'm kind of winging it, gotta be honest. I took a picture at the start, and then I was getting really frustrated, so I kind of just took some dikes and took some needle nose and just started ripping and tearing when it came to both cars. So we got the actual drum brake cylinders themselves switched over onto the blue car, the newer ones. And now I'm going to attempt to reassemble the drum brakes. I found some YouTube videos and some pictures on the internet on like thirdgen.org and stuff. I'm going to make an attempt. Well, I don't really have a choice, so
Dad's not here.
I'll just make it work. Yeah. You know, tomorrow we're going to have Father back, the main character, and he's gonna take a helping hand as he did last time. So we're gonna have 30 more years of experience helping me. So yeah, I'm gonna make an attempt at putting these brakes back together as I am, and if we fail, he'll fix it for me. So
good morning, I'm back. So I guess yesterday, Jesse and the boss, what all did you do? You put the brakes together?
put the front brakes together.
Front brakes together. I think they did the rear drums kind of off camera. They're getting a little frustrated, which I understand. I got home yesterday, helped them button that up. Went ahead and bled the brakes. Put the wheels on. I think this morning we're going to try to tackle the fuel system. So did you show the old tank?
Yeah.
Okay, so the old tank that was in this blue car was rotten. When we got the red car and got it running, we put a new fuel tank in it. So again, off camera late one night, we went ahead and stuck the New fuel tank, well, new used fuel tank in this car. It's already got the metal lines running down, the factory metal lines. We got a new sending unit. The sending unit we originally had for the red car was actually incorrect. We had to bend it and stuff to get it to work. And, you try to buy the cheaper stuff on eBay, and that's what happens. So went ahead and got the proper fuel sending unit. Going to run a made in USA. This is a Walbro pump. All the stuff that goes with it. We do have a regulator because we're going carbureted. This car would have had TBI. Fittings and stuff to go with that. So yeah, I think that's the goal. Is we're just kind of trying to get this fuel system straightened out. Let's get this sending unit put together and get it in the car. Okay, so the way this kind of works, we got multiple kits here. Where'd the other hose? There we go. Basically, fuel, that's over there. The fuel pump sits in this little basket here. We're gonna have to cut a choke of hose to go between the sending unit and the pump. Electrical connector, there's a little sub harness. And I think we're just gonna bend this clamp over in order to kind of hold it in place. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So I want to get this in here, get in there, get in there. So we need enough hose to go. Let's go ahead and get this out of the way.
That much?
Let's set it up here and find out for sure. Lost it. It's not in there. It fell out. Things happened. There we go. So you want to go from basically have it butt against that to there.
So, I don't think like that much.
Yep, so I don't know if you want to mark it, you want to hold your finger there, what you want to do. You need to know kind of exactly where you want it. Cut it straight if you can. Okay.
Straightish.
I guess we'll see that, huh? Okay, fish that into there. I think we're all good. Like that. Now you need a screwdriver, get your clamps on. Does that clamp open you?
Yeah, probably sitting on with a smaller screwdriver.
Oh, I'm gonna get hurt. I already know it. Okay. Takes care of that. Where's our little sub harness?
Over here. Plug into here.
Cool. Okay. So hopefully you'll have a accurate fuel gauge. So where is that thing? This is what he found on eBay or whatever. And we had to bend this in order for it to fit in the tank. And then his fuel gauge was never accurate. Obviously the fuel will go all the way up here. And I think the resistance value of this sending it is incorrect because you only had what, like a quarter to 3/4 was all the gauge would show.
Yeah, it would go below. It would go below empty.
You have a mic,
Yeah, it would go below empty, but
would never.
But it would never show past 3/4. It would never show past 12 gallons in a 16-gallon tank.
Yeah. Anyway, so now we have what should be correct for this car. We need that O-ring as well.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, somebody has messed with sending and stuff in this car before and absolutely butchered all of this. We also need that ring, that lock ring.
Yeah.
We need to put that on first as well. All right, bud. Let's see if you can fish those into that hole somehow. Might have to just kind of tweak slightly. There we go. All right, so we just got to get past all that crap. What are we getting?
Can we cut this? I
Um,
mean, that's just
Will it slide?
clamping them together.
Let's slide this way. Nope. Should fit in there though. What's happening? We're hooked. Ow. Installed. Okay. Pop that guy down there. All right. That's all installed. This butchery we'll have to deal with later. We'll probably cut a section out of the red car and probably make like a panel that sits over the top of this that we can just screw into place and seal that up that way. It'd be nice to have a panel there. That way, if we ever need to get back in here, we can. You know, bigger fuel pump for an LS swap. All right, we're gonna put this up in the air. We got a wire connection to make, hook up a few hoses, and move on to this regulator. All right, Jesse's working on getting the carburetor installed and hooked up. Trying to figure out our regulator deal. This is a Trick Flow 0 to 65 psi. The factory spring, you can run it 0 to, I believe, 30. It came with another spring to run it up to the 65 psi mark. So if and when he wants to go to an LS that takes higher fuel pressure, we can just swap the spring out. This regulator will work. Same with the fuel pump should work. So I'm thinking we're just going to kind of go right in here. We got our feed and return lines already right here in this area. The crappy part is the Edelbrock carburetor has the inlet on the other side. There's no other way. I thought it had a plug in this side so you could go either way. It does not. So we got to fish a line all the way across the other side of the engine, unfortunately. So I think I should have like some rib nuts. I think I'm just going to drill a hole in this area somewhere and rib nut this thing on here.
Right, what?
Well, we found one that'll work.
Putting a rivet in it?
These are called rib nuts.
Or, yeah, rib nut.
Okay, so now we just need a 1/4 bolt. Sorry about the background noise. It's supposed to rain all day long. something like that.
Yeah, I have to bend it down a little more. It looks like it kind of sits
Well, it's lower than this giant tall radiator you guys got.
Yeah.
And the hood's going to come across. We will see.
Yeah.
If we have to, we'll move it down an inch.
Yeah.
I didn't make any kind of plan whatsoever. I just set it there and drilled a hole. So this is generally the way I do things anyway.
I know. I've been there.
All right. So I think we're going to loop the feed like that. We got to cut this and all that and actually go out a little bit. So when you take this stuff off, we don't have all the fittings and stuff to actually run these lines to here, which would be handy. But these rubber hoses are all pretty well crusty anyway. So we're going to take this off, cut the nut off of here, and just flare the end slightly. And then the same thing, we'll bend this guy down, and we'll bring return right into the bottom of the regulator. And then we'll have to go out on this side to the carb. Unfortunately, it's going to have to loop around the whole dang engine, but that's the way she goes sometimes. All right, fuel system's all buttoned up. Not the prettiest work, but we're just trying to get it going at this point. Again, at some point he's planning on doing an LS swap, and all this will probably change with fancy AN lines and all that stuff. But for now, this should do the job. We will have to figure out a way to tie up our fuel line. I don't like it draped across the engine, but there's really no other way to do it other than like running around the cowl and all that, and that's just can create more problems. So we're going to leave it like this for now. Once we get it running, we'll figure out a way to tie it, radiator hose, make a little bracket, something. We'll figure it out. So I think that's going to be it for this video. They did some brake work. I know off camera, like I said, we did the fuel tank and whatnot, but brakes are all done and bled, so that's a big step. Fuel system's all done and ready to go, and we have a tremendous amount of work to do still, which will be coming up. So again, big thank you to these guys for recording for me while I had to work. Much appreciated. And like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff for YouTube algorithm. I appreciate it very much. Thanks for hanging out. I just said your line. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Thanks for watching.
Like and subscribe if I should buy a third Camaro.
We need a white one. We got a red one and a blue one. Maybe we need a white one.
Coming up.
We'll see you guys next time.